Civil society engagement. When it comes to global climate decisions, it's not just governments in the room. Civil society plays a critical role in shaping climate policy through the UNFCCC. What is civil society? Civil society includes non-governmental organizations known as NGOs, Indigenous Peoples, trade unions, youth, researchers, gender advocates, and many more. They come to COPs as observers, not negotiators, but their voices matter and make an impact on the outcomes. Constituencies. Recall from the first video in the series that civil society voices are organized into 9 official constituencies: Youngo, Children and Youth NGOs, NGO, Environmental NGOs, Tungo, Trade Unions, the WGC, Women and Gender NGOs, IPO, Indigenous Peoples, Bingo, Business and Industry NGOs, Ringo, Research and Independent Organizations like universities or think tanks, LGMAs, Local Government and Municipal Authorities, and Farmers, Agricultural Networks. Each group brings unique perspectives to the table and advocates for climate justice, equity, and urgency. What can observers do? Observers can't explicitly veto an outcome. However, they can influence the outcomes in many ways. They can speak for 2 minutes at official negotiations if parties approve and time allows, host side events and pavilion events, organize actions and protests within the venue, meet negotiators to influence text and talk about their priorities, hold press conferences and release policy briefs, watch negotiations and report back to their communities, and contribute to written submissions for the UNFCCC as part of admitted organizations or constituencies. In many ways, they help keep negotiations accountable to science, justice, and people on the front lines. Access and influence. As constituencies, civil society often works behind the scenes too, giving input to national delegations, submitting position papers, and helping shape final outcomes. They are watchdogs, messengers, and sometimes whistleblowers, especially when big polluters try to water down climate action or outcomes. Actions and advocacy. Creative, peaceful actions are a powerful tool. From symbolic sit-ins to the Fossil of the Day, award given to the party that is doing the most to backtrack or prevent a positive outcome, these raise awareness and put pressure on governments to act faster and fairer. Note that all actions must be approved by the UN Security before they occur. Actions and advocacy. In addition to actions, there are a number of approaches you can take as an advocate. You can email negotiators in advance with your priorities. Following a negotiation session, you can introduce yourself to a negotiator that you'd like to set up a meeting with. Participate in constituency working groups, which often set up their own meetings with parties. Print your priorities and proposals to give to a negotiator during a meeting. Post calls to action with your teammates on social media. And contribute to blogs, media releases, and other forms of media to share your perspective. Why it matters. Civil society reminds the decision makers that climate negotiations are not just technical. They are about people's lives, future, and justice. Without them, decisions risk being disconnected from the real world and realities of climate change. While negotiators may find themselves lost in finding the best verb for the text, civil society builds pressure, power, and possibility through their presence in every single room. Following the event, civil society takes their learnings and the outcomes back home to their communities, collectively translating progress and communicating remaining gaps that will further fuel their advocacy. So whether you're at COP or watching from home, you are a part of civil society. Use your voice in your community, around your kitchen table, and with friends. Build movements. Email your negotiators and decision makers. Take action locally. Real change happens when people demand it and continue talking about it together. Learn more about civil society and joining constituencies here.